Yo, what is going on, Raiders? The Boss here, and have you ever been wondering about which buffs or items in Cloud Raiders are the best? Today I will share with you my personal opinion on that and present you my top 5 buffs in Cloud Raiders. So let's get right into it. Number 5, the Ice Weapon. Of course this buff has to be in the top 5. The Ice Weapon helps you to freeze your enemy with close combat troops, and this comes in especially handy when fighting against Titans. Unfortunately it doesn't work on all of them anymore, but against Inferno or Leviathan it helps you to get up to a very high tier if you just have enough of them. Like you can see, it makes one of the strongest Titans, like Inferno, appear completely harmless, which gives an extreme advantage when trying to defeat him. With 5 stars, this item gives a 50% freezing chance and lasts 2 minutes, which definitely gives the guarantee to stay victorious about those 2 Titans. But why is this only on the 5th place if it is that helpful? And the reason why I didn't reward this buff with a higher place is that it's actually only very helpful against Titans and not in battles against other players. Obviously it freezes the troop of the enemy, but that doesn't give a big advantage there because there are other items which are more helpful in PvP than the Ice Weapon. That's why we are having now a look at the number 4 in the top 5 buffs. Number 4, the Dwarf Saboteurs. Did you ever wanted to see the positions of your enemy's traps? Or do you also think that beating any base without having active traps is very easy? Yes, me too, and the Dwarf Saboteurs allow you exactly to have such an insight into the enemy's base. It activates 50% of the enemy's traps and lasts 3 hours and gives you a huge advantage against very strong bases. First of all, let me show you what I mean by that. When searching for an enemy base, you can already see a lot of traps being activated, and through that the opponent loses not only a lot of his defensive power, no, also I can see where he is placing his traps and from where I should do my entrance in a battle. For example, I assume when using this buff no enemy places 2 shock rod traps right next to each other, as this buff also becomes very important when you want to attack other players with tanky troops like the Gauntlet, which can be taken out quite easily by 1 shock rod traps, and since we only can have 8 of them at max in our troop camp, losing 1 decreases the strength of an army a lot. So again, the Dwarf Saboteurs help here out a lot, but the next item is even stronger and helpful than this one. So let's have a look at it now. Number 3, the Ranger Potion. This buff is one of the most powerful items for PvP. On its highest level it can increase the range of long range troops for 100%, which is incredible. It makes every long range troop, no matter how weak it is, to a very dangerous unit, and even the Dark Magician, who is a very weak Dragon Warrior, is able to defeat a Stronghold 9 or even a weak Stronghold 10. It can be used in every challenge we are facing in Cloud Raiders. On the Treasure Island, the Ranger Potion helps to finish it a lot faster, as troops don't need to walk a long distance anymore. It can be used for dragons or cannoneers and gives definitely an advantage there. Furthermore, it is also useful against Titans, for example the Leviathan. There I was using it on archers to make him walk long distances to buy time in order to finish him on tier 50. Like mentioned before, it is very powerful in fights against other players. It can make you victorious about every Stronghold 10 if you have strong troops, as cannoneers can destroy almost 1/2 of the enemy's base from one position. But it also helps to attack with the strongest strategy which is currently existing in Cloud Raiders. By using it on the dragons, they can burn down buildings after buildings without even getting serious damage. So overall, a 5-star Ranger Potion increases the range of your troops so much that even the Cannoneer Fort, nor the Dragon Tower or the Crystal Spire can shoot on him, which gives it the well-deserved 3rd place in my top 5 of buffs. However, there are even more powerful and useful buffs left, which even exceed the power of this Ranger Potion. Number 2, the Gortex Axe. It was really hard to decide between the ranking of the Ranger Potion and the Gortex Axe. However, in my personal opinion, I've been using the Gortex Axe so often and almost in any video I've been showing to you that this determined my final decision. In addition, it is also a multifunctional item which supports you again in every area of the game. Either if it is in PvP, the Treasure Island, the campaign, Titan Rush, or simply against Titans, you can use it everywhere, and due to the fact that it increases amazing 14% of damage, health and speed of your troops, it can have a significant impact on every fight and its outcome. However, it's becoming only extremely useful when using it in combination with other buffs, so the Gortex Axe gives again a perfect basis for a fight, but needs further support to make it really strong. That's why it only has been ranked on the 2nd place in my ranking. And before we come now to the best buff, I just want to mention some other very good buffs which are also very powerful, but didn't make it into the top 5. So let's start off with Nature's Blessing. It heals your troops throughout the fight and is especially useful in stronghold levels below stronghold 9. At this stronghold level it heals your troops very fast when it's on a high level and makes archers almost invincible against Bertha attacks. However, at stronghold 10 the defensive powers are so high that it doesn't have such a significant impact on the fights, and that's why it wasn't able to reach the top 5. A very powerful and useful buff in every aspect of the game are the obsidian nails. They increase the wall's health by 1200 and really makes it hard for the enemy to break through it. When you consider that a wall upgrade gives you only 500 to 1000 additional health, it can clearly make a difference and can increase your defensive power by 1 to 2 stronghold levels. I'm using it especially in events as the enemies are very strong there, and if you want to get full reward there, these will definitely help you to do so. It also helps to threaten the enemies to attack your base. Personally, I always try to avoid enemies who have this item activated, and moreover it lasts 24 hours and it's therefore the longest lasting buff in Cloud Raiders. On the other hand, similarly to Nature's Blessing, its disadvantage lies within the lack of efficiency when used by a stronghold 10 user. The troops are now very strong and even 1200 additional health do not stop the enemy's troops for much longer than a normal war would do. Then of course the Mirror Shield needs to be mentioned here. It gives on its highest level 300% additional health to your troops, but unfortunately is only usable in the Treasure Island events or the campaign, but not in PvP. So when it is possible to use it, it is very useful, but due to the fact that we cannot use it in PvP, which is in my opinion the most important aspect of the game, it is just to a certain extent very useful in the game. The most controversial buff in this game is the Summoning Boss Potion. For now I only was able to collect one throughout my Cloud Raiders career, and here in this clip right now you can see him fighting against Diamondback. I know you might think that I should have used it in a PvP fight, but I wanted to test out the limits and the options we have with it. So by using it we can summon a boss who is occurring in the campaign mode, and when we have a look at this fight right now, we can clearly see that the boss is very tanky and can stand against a lot of attacks, but unfortunately lacks very much in attack damage. When I was facing this buff in the past, I met exactly the same experience. He can take a lot of damage done by my towers, but needs a lot of additional support from other troops to destroy the enemy's base. But still keep in mind that this buff has only 2 stars, and maybe when it has 5 stars we are able to see a very big difference in those things I was criticizing about it. So let's have a look at my favorite item of all time. Number 1, the Gunpowder Overload. The one and only buff which is able to increase the tower's strength with an immense amount of additional strength. It gives an incredible boost of 40% up on their attack damage, which is almost doubling it. Even an upgrade of the towers wouldn't give so much additional power to the towers, so I guess you could even compete with the Stronghold 10, or at least defend yourself against troops from a higher Stronghold level if you are below that Stronghold level. It can be used in PvP, where it guarantees you plenty of victorious defenses. Furthermore, in all of my Titan videos, this item gave me the strength to reach such high tiers against each and every Titan. Without it, this wouldn't have been possible. In events it helps to prevent the opponent's troops to destroy a lot of your base, and the best thing about it, you really get it a lot of times offered, or you win it very often. One drawback is the duration time of this buff, which is only 3 hours, but if it would last longer it would clearly unbalance the whole game. So due to the fact that this item really helps to defend yourself very effective against everything that approaches your base, I awarded it with the first place. Of course, like I mentioned before, this ranking is based on my personal opinion and you might have a different one on that. So I'm really interested to see what your top 5 buffs in Cloud Raiders are, or if I have forgotten one which should have been included into this video. Write that down in the comments and I will definitely have a look at it. So here we are again at the end of this video, and I hope you've enjoyed this ranking of buffs. Don't forget to leave a like, and if you haven't done so far, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on anything which is gonna come up in the future. Moreover, if you are interested in watching another video, you have now the chance to click on this extract from it, where you will be able to judge which troop is the better one to use, which is gonna be between the Cannoneers and the Dragons. So this is it from me, have a great raid, peace out.